What are some things that had hype and then never lived up to it? Probably Dele Alli, should have done way more. Jose was always right. I feel 2042, probably up there. My sex life. My first time having sex. My second time having sex. My third time having sex. I'm just kidding, of course it never disappointed. Really, because you have to talk to a woman to have that. People, welcome back to the channel. And Battlefield, I'll tell you what is better than sex. Battlefield. Clearly the whole of the gaming community agrees, because everybody's coming together right now to play Battlefield 6, because Battlefield 6 is seeing hype that I've not seen for a beta probably all my life. I've not seen a beta come together this great since Chunks and Nico decided to help out those 3 other irrelevant ones. I'm kidding, I like them. Invite me on a guest video. Invite me on the Guess the Game video. Trust me, I'll be able to be really good on that. But Battlefield has got everybody hyped. This beta has truly taken off like a level I've not seen. I didn't think they would be able to do that. Let's not forget that Battlefield's hype and Battlefield's community themselves was probably starting to not believe in them. I mean, the top comment of the first release Battlefield 6 was, remember boys, don't pre-order. Now, while pre-ordering stuff is always a bit of a thing, and I'll get into my whole belief on whether you should be able to tell people to not pre-order or not, the fact is the community, the core community, at least at that point, had really not believed in Battlefield that much. It's like, nah, let's not pre-order, let's just wait and see, which you realistically on paper you'd think that's how people would think for most games, but it wouldn't be even said on the top thing. For that to be the main consensus from some people was insane. And then where we are now, how they have probably revived it instantly. They have picked it up, they've given it Chug Jug, Medkit, Small Pot, whatever Fortnite kiddie reference you want to make, because everybody and their mums is playing. It's not just the Battlefield hardcore fans that are loving, even the casuals, because the level we're seeing, the Battlefield that is reached, we're going to talk about some of the numbers in a second, but Battlefield is generating huge hype, and that's the question, can this live up to the hype? Because at the end of the day, when something gets talked about a lot, when something gets believed in a lot, now you've got even more expectations, you've got even more people to let down. That's the truth of how it matters. All good, the beta being good, and trust me, the beta has been thoroughly good. The beta is thoroughly really good, but can they actually deliver on the execution now? And them themselves have put on massive pressure on themselves, which we'll talk about as well in a second. Absolutely killing these lot now. Oh god, this is probably my best game, thank god. They seen me talk good about the game and they're like, yes, we'll help you out. Oh shit, I should have reloaded quicker. Yeah, you're not getting help, mate. You're gonna... Okay, yep, I probably deserve that. Fair enough. You compare this to Call of Duty, and I know a lot of Battlefield fans in particular don't like the comparisons, but the fact is they've always been comparable to each other as 2 FPS games. Whether you like it or not, they have always been in the market of comparableness. While Battlefield can never truly ever become bigger than Battlefield, I don't truly believe. I don't think it's possible, just because COD is just a mainstay in everything. You can ask your grandma, do you want to play COD? She'll be a bit confused why you're talking about a fish that way. But then when you explain the video game, because she's a bit dumber than us, of course, you know, she went through a war, we're fighting a war on Battlefield, we're kind of the same, to be fair, we're veterans of it. She would probably know what Call of Duty is. Everybody and their mums truly knows what Call of Duty is. It is taken over the market, it's undisputedly #1, and we'll talk about the bad stuff that can lead to, but at the same time, while it is king, while it is undisputed #1 as far as player goes, as far as notability goes, game wise it's probably in the ringer. Game wise it definitely doesn't feel like it should be the king, and that's what Battlefield can capitalize on. Everybody's lack of love for Call of Duty. Me, as somebody that loves Call of Duty, when it's at its best, I still personally prefer it over a Battlefield. I am sick of what Call of Duty has become. Look at their promotion for Black Ops 7. You're seeing the pre-order skins. At first I thought that was some sort of joke when I'm seeing that, and look, I don't think the skins, getting rid of them or not, makes the game 100% better. I don't think that saves Black Ops 7, but you look at the comparisons in what we're seeing for beta of Battlefield being the most highly anticipated, the most loved beta I've seen in quite some time, player wise one of the most played betas of all time. Has Call of Duty in particular gotten too happy in their ways? Have they gotten too comfortable in their ways? Yes, of course they have. They've been comfortable in their ways for the longest of time. This is the perfect time for Battlefield to come in and swoop in as the knight in shining armor and say, yo, at the very least, we are an option for you to have. You don't like the way of Call of Duty anymore? Here, play Battlefield. The option of having more than one game to play is just the best thing ever. This is how it used to be before one game became a monopoly. Anything, at the end of the day, when you think of all the best stuff in the world, when you think about everything when it's at its best, was at competition. You think about when Call of Duty and You think about when Call of Duty and Battlefield was truly competing against each other, I think that's when Call of Duty did some of its best work. Same with Battlefield. I'm a wrestling fan. If you know anything about wrestling, you'll know wrestling was at its best in the Attitude Era when WCW was up against it. You want to go a bit more nerdy, you want to go a bit more niche? Goku, would he be as strong without Vegeta? No. You want to talk about sports? Would Messi have 8 Ballon d'Ors if Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't around? No. The fact is, no matter in what walk of life, competition makes everything and everyone better. And Battlefield hopefully giving Call of Duty the competition that they need would be one of the greatest things, to hopefully kick it up their ass and tell them stop making media slop that you can get away with because there was no other acceptable option. I mean, you're seeing this tweet right now on your screen. The Battlefield 6 open beta is currently at 475,000 players on Steam, getting closer to beating highest Call of Duty peaks on Steam. Like, when you actually deep that is actually insane that the beta has done that. The beta has gotten this much hype considering where we were just a month ago with the community for Battlefield. While I'm not so deep in the Battlefield community, I wouldn't call myself one of the big founders of it. I am definitely acceptable to her loving a Battlefield. Battlefield 1, I love that game so much. Battlefield Hardline, maybe a niche one. I know that's a polarizing one. It's somewhat underrated, somewhat overhated in my personal opinion. I love it. The fact that we can reach this boy, who likes boys, not me, but why do I need to get exposed for that now? I thought this is the safe place I can get away from that fact. And some slurs in the chat. We are so back. Don't ever tell me we're not back. And you're seeing the Blizzard president coming out and saying that they're going to Battlefield's going to kick the ass of Call of Duty. Look, again, that he doesn't know anything more than me or you realistically, maybe. Well, I assume he has a couple more sources than me, to be honest. The only sources I have is ketchup. But there's nothing obviously in that. There is a belief from some people now. There is a starting of people starting to flock to pre-ordering the game, and I've never been one of those people to shame people for pre-ordering. I know there was this whole thing of not pre-ordering, but I've never been on that belief. You see it with the Nintendo thing. Everybody was like, don't pre-order, you'll be worse than the devil himself. Nobody in this earth will pre-order this game, I can assure you that. Then guess what, it went on to be a very successful console, as we all expect it to be, because people, it's just kind of an internet debate of this whole don't pre-order, do pre-order, do what you want. And in there, most people probably don't even use the internet, don't even know about this whole boycott Nintendo thing. And you could say the same for Battlefield. Maybe that's why a lot of people are switching up on it. But also, if you've seen enough from this beta in the last couple of days and you've said that's enough for you, you want to buy the game, all power to you. I don't really get this whole shaming of somebody that's done it. Me personally, I haven't done it yet. I'm definitely not opposed to doing it anytime soon. I've really thoroughly enjoyed. I'm just waiting for a little bit more. There is no denying that they have gotten people back already. There is a feel and a love. You've seen some of the clips and the gameplay of this game. While they may have gotten rid of gooning, while they may have gotten rid of porn in the UK, well, guess what, people? Forget Mia Khalifa. Just check out some of the clips you see of this game, and that is the greatest bit of sexual content your eyes or your dick is going to see all year round. It feels like this game's back, and that's why I'm actually happy, and I am getting myself excited. Every video, every game I play, I'm getting myself a little bit more excited. Is it acceptable to more now likely to get myself disappointed? Of course. With getting more excited, that means only being more disappointed. If I go into this thinking it's going to be the worst Battlefield and, you know, this nonchalant gimmick of it might be alright, hopefully it can deliver on the actual game, then of course if it ends up being bad, then I'm not that opposed to it. I'm just kind of like, oh well, it is what it is. But I would be lying to myself if I'm trying this nonchalant gimmick. First of all, I'm not cool enough. Second of all, I'm not Duke Dennis. And third of all, I'm really enjoying myself, so of course I'm going to get excited. The thing that gave me more hope than seeing Luke Skywalker appear in The New Hope, it's the way that the devs have talked about this game. Yeah, we fucked up really badly our last Battlefield, but we're shedding all of that. The way they're talking about how this is a new era, the way they're talking about what the community wants, such as destruction. Yes, we want our Michael Bay back, thank you very much. For Transformers and for the exact of the explosions. The fact that they've become self-aware, and when game companies become self-aware, that leads to two things, and it only is going to be one of these two things if you ask me, in my opinion. It's going to lead to them finally giving back to the community what they want, to the core audience, to the hardcore people that have stuck behind Battlefield when maybe they went on a bit of a downward spiral. They're going to be having the best game, they're going to be having the happiest feeling they've had since maybe their childhood for some people. Or it's going to lead to a disappointing flop, and even worse than that, because if you've become self-aware of what makes your game bad and you still make a bad game, what would be the excuse? Because it's a simple... Oh, I've just been absolutely... Oh, rude. How rude. That's never happened to me. That's the first time that's actually happened to me for some reason. I guess it's always been my bad breath that's kept people away. If you've become self-aware and you still deliver something that is considered a bit sloppy, people are really going to lose faith in you, because if a self-aware version of yourself can't make a good game, what would a lack of self-awareness you do? But the fact that they have this much confidence in themselves to talk bad about their old games and talk big about this one, and I mean really big, because it feels like they've gone all out. Battlefield's always had such good PR. Battlefield's always done a really good job, but this one does feel different. The numbers show that people want something different. This is the perfect opportunity. This is almost their money in the bank. They need to cash it in. They need to be Seth Rollins. Forget even doing a fake injury. I mean being a edge, an ultimate opportunist, because right now the feeling with COD is not the happiest. Right now people want a different feeling to a different FPS game, because it really, for the most part, at least at the top game spectrum, is kind of Call of Duty or nothing. You give people an option, people just become a little bit more happier, and they want Battlefield to succeed. I'm one of those people. I need Battlefield to succeed for hope that Call of Duty will be better as well, but also just to give myself an option. It would be nice to be able to go from one and the other, like you used to. You used to maybe one day play Battlefield all night long, the next day you play Call of Duty all night long. If one's bad, you're hoping the other one's going to be good to carry the slack. Let me make this clear. Despite what I've been saying, it makes it sound like I'm shitting on Call of Duty and I'm deaf to Call of Duty. As I've explained multiple times already, I want Call of Duty to do good just as much. I'm not even trying to be Switzerland here and be neutral. I generally just want the better game to do the better. I couldn't care which one's got more hype, which one's got more love, which one's got more fans. I just want the better game to be better and probably be more bigger. I really liked Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 was probably my favorite Call of Duty since Black Ops 3, I would go as far as to say. Is there that? But the game kind of really quickly died off for me. It was such a short prime. It was the shortest prime you ever talk about. You talk about Dele Alli having a short prime. Black Ops 6 probably even had a shorter prime for me at least. And maybe, and when you see the viewer count and when you see the player base, it probably did for a lot of other people as well. Because it's kind of a thing of, with Call of Duty, you know it's going to come out next year. So it's like, you either play it now, you enjoy it for a couple of months, and then you probably take a break. Because if you don't take a break now, then you're not going to ever miss it. I find myself not buying Call of Duty every year. I know that shouldn't sound as controversial as it is, but I don't find myself buying Call of Duty every year because I don't find myself getting excited for it every year. I find myself buying it every other year. And the fact that it's gone from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7, and I really like Black Ops 6, it just does feel a little bit lazy though. Like, what are we adding that's going to be that much different? What are we going to be improving on truly? It just feels like we're going to just kind of really try and get that Black Ops name out there as much as possible, churn it out. You hear the other one after Black Ops is going to be another Modern Warfare series. Is it just spinning the blocks of what we used to know and what we used to love? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Black Ops 7 is going to be Black Ops 6 but even more improved. If so, that seems like a decent enough game for me at least. EA themselves obviously saying that this beta was their biggest beta in their history. Yeah, no shit. It feels like everywhere you go, everybody's playing or talking about this game. Battlefield have that good thing of not being in your face every year, because the hype around the game is now. The hype around the game will be for a couple of months, and then the game won't realistically be in your face as much, of course, just because of how modern gaming is. But because they're not a Battlefield every year, you will come back to this game. You won't just leave. If you're a big fan of the Battlefield style, you'll come back to this game. You won't just leave because you think, oh, there'll be another one next year. You know there won't be another one for a couple of years. And I think leaving makes the heart grow vulnerable. Not being there makes it go vulnerable. In this case, for some Battlefield fans, including myself, who hasn't even played Battlefield seriously for quite some time, it almost feels like it's been decades for me that it feels like we've had a Battlefield. There is so much hype, there is so much expectation, and can they deliver on that? I hope they can, and if the beta is anything to go off, it's not the perfect game by no means. There is still some things, personally, I'm not a big fan of the spawn points, for example, where I can just creep up behind them or vice versa. Really don't like, and I hope they do fix that. But overall, I'm enjoying this game so far. Overall, I'm excited for something different in my life for what feels like a couple of years, because 2042 had a lot of hype. Did it deliver? No. But even 2042 never had the hype this had. But that's just my kind of thoughts on it. Let me know, gentlemen, what do you think of the hype of Battlefield? Is it warranted? Can they deliver to it? And more importantly, are you excited? And will you be buying Battlefield 6 when it comes out? Let me know. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. That'd be much appreciated, because there'll be so much more Battlefield content in the channel down below. This is a different type of style to what I usually do. If you like this, let me know down in the comments below. I can do more of it. I've been Jordan, and I'll see you guys in a bit.